Hello, my darling sweet friends, and welcome to this delicious episode of Brave Heart Open Mind Live. I am so pumped for the topic that we're going to be discussing today. I'm honored to be spending this time with you. So, let's get into it together. Today, we are going to be talking about the delicious topic of your body. And I know that when I introduce the phrase of your body, you can be hit with a lot of feelings all at once. You can be like, oh my God, I don't want to, or like, yes, please tell me, how do I love my body better? And it's within these multiple textures of being with our own bodies, those feelings of like, ugh, my relationship with my body is like freaking terrible, or I so wish, I dream of having a better relationship with my body. Those textures of how we feel about ourselves can be so important in how we live out our own lives and how we conduct our relationship with ourselves. Because according to society or social expectations, there's a lot of emphasis placed on our bodies being who we are. And like, that's not necessarily inherently wrong. Our bodies are a large part of who we are. And also, there is so much more. Like, that's why we talk about mind, body, spirit alignment, because your sweet, beautiful body is not the only part of the equation. There's that mind and spirit component that are also so beautifully important. And today, we are going to start connecting those dots, and we are going to start it from a standpoint of talking about your sweet body. So if you are joining me live, hello! Feel free to drop a comment. I can see that some people are here, but I don't know who you are. So shout out a hey if you are joining live. And if you are watching or listening to this replay, also hello! I'm sending you love. Thank you for being here during this very intimate conversation, because you spend no more time with anyone else than you do with yourself, with your mind and your body and your spirit. So, addressing your sweet body is so important. And so when we enter into this conversation, I want it to be from the standpoint of your body is your home for your mind and your spirit, right? Like, if you are in portion the thoughts that you think and the desires that your heart has, right? If you are the thinker of your thoughts, the person in power in your life, then your body is the home for that. Your body is the beautiful palace or temple, if you will. I know the phrase your body is a temple is like totally cliche. But when it comes to thinking about yourself in terms of your mind, your body, and your spirit, your body gets to be your home. It gets to be the thing that houses everything else. Hello! I think Dawn is watching. Hi, Dawn! Welcome! So your body, it gets to be your home. And when you think about it in terms of your skin, the part of your body that you visually see the most of. Your skin is the largest organ in your body, just like your liver or your heart or your lungs. Your skin is an organ. And it is the foundation that holds your body together. Think of it in terms of a water balloon, for example. There cannot be a water balloon without the latex holding all of the water in place. When you take that latex away, you just have a puddle of water. Okay? So your skin, your body gets to be that latex, that form that holds you together. And when you are in a mental headspace of being unkind to your poor sweet body, being unkind to that poor sweet foundation or membrane that holds you together, you're essentially being unkind to the thing, one of the things that makes you you, that makes your you-ness here on the face of this planet possible for you. And let me talk a little bit more what I mean by that. If your body ceases to exist, your human experience on this planet as it is now ceases to exist also. So I'm not saying that you are only your body. I am saying that your body is what allows you to experience things in your life, that allows you to experience things like pleasure and pain, that allows you to experience a full range of emotions like happiness and sadness. It is your body that allows this to be possible for you on planet Earth right now. And when your body ceases to exist, we know from quantum physics that energy cannot be destroyed. So your mind and your spirit go somewhere. We can talk theology in another live sometime, because there are so many beliefs about what happens then. I believe that your subatomic particles join the rest of the subatomic particles in the universe, and you return into being that source energy that creates all that is. That's alive for another time. So it's important to know that your human experience right now is only possible because you have these organs, because you have access to this meat suit, right? This organic container that allows your mind and your spirit to coexist. And so, if we consider your body from this point of view, and you begin to reflect on how you are behaving towards your body or thinking about your body right now, and you ask the question, if your body were a friend, a bestie, how would you be treating her? It begins to call into question or call to the forefront some of our thoughts and behaviors that tend to be more negative, that tend to pit you against yourself. And I want to be very clear here. Those thoughts, those feelings of hating your body or being dissatisfied or being unhappy, those are not wrong thoughts. Those are not bad thoughts. What they are often are defense mechanisms or thoughts that your brain puts forth in order to keep you safe, in order to keep ridicule from happening to you. Because we can get stuck in this cycle of, well, if I think the mean thoughts first, then other people who say mean things about me won't hurt as much because I've already thought the mean thoughts. And as weird as that circular logic sounds, it's your unconscious mind trying to protect you from feeling pain, from feeling hurt, from feeling rejected. Because it's your unconscious mind's job to keep you feeling as safe as possible, to keep you feeling, to keep you behaving in a way that keeps you as a part of the society that you're in. Because back in the day, your unconscious mind would be worried about you being kicked out of your, like, I want to say prehistoric, but that's not the right word. Like your prehistoric tribe in the past, right? Because being on your own meant a really hard time of it or death, right? So your unconscious mind is inherently going to do all that it can in order to keep you safe, in order to keep you as a member of society. And if you were only your mind, all of these things would win out. You wouldn't feel that sense of conflict, but you are also your soul. You are also your body. And so when your unconscious mind lovingly, misguidedly, but still lovingly tries to keep you safe by thinking those mean thoughts, your body and your spirit react to that. They feel sad. That's why when you think those mean girl thoughts, you feel a reaction in your body and in your heart, right? You don't like that you say those things to yourself. And within my homecoming program, we have a very specific ritual or practice that you go through to help you be on the same page as those emotions so that you don't stay in conflict with not liking them. And we can talk more about that later, or you can join homecoming and learn all about it, which would be lovely. Suffice it to say, for now, that because you are all parts of you, when you ask yourself questions like, if your body were a friend, how are you treating her? And you listen for that answer, you then open the doors to an opportunity to change the way that you think, to change the way that you act, which is beautiful and powerful. And another question that can lead to changes in your thoughts and in your behaviors is, if your body were that friend, what would she think of the thoughts that you think of her, right? What would she think of the way that your thoughts are right now? What would she think of the way your emotions are right now? I'm guessing in a large portion or majority of cases that she would be like, why are you doing that to me? Like, she would be really hurt by that. And that's not unfounded. A lot of times our thoughts and feelings about our body can be unkind. And it's a beautiful journey when you can find a place of peace and harmony between those thoughts that you're thinking and the reaction that you're feeling into them. And we talk about that really specifically inside of homecoming, because essentially what you can do by being in deeper relationship with yourself is to stop being at war with yourself between those two, like, pulling dichotomies. You don't have to be angry at your unconscious mind for being a dick to your body. Like, that's not a requirement. You don't have to be at war with yourself. You can understand those thoughts from a different perspective by understanding their higher intention. And we walk through that really, really specifically inside of homecoming. It's one of my favorite parts of the entire program. And it really can be as simple as identifying a thought and asking, like, for what intention do I have that thought? Okay, so then for what intention do I have that next thought? It can be that simple. We go into much deeper detail to make it easier. But if you just continue to ask for what intention, you essentially get the same result, where you get to be at peace with yourself, where you get to have a better understanding of your unconscious mind with your heart and your body, all aligned, all at peace, which is really beautiful. And there are other practices that you can do to achieve this inner harmony, this inner peace with viewing your body as your home, as your biggest supporter of your existence on this planet Earth, right? You can do things like mirror work, talking into yourself in a mirror and saying beautiful affirmations. I've done a live on that before, so if you scroll back, you can see it, or I think I posted it on YouTube, which is more easily searchable. And if I haven't, updating my YouTube is on my list of things to do. So you might notice an influx of videos here in the next few weeks. One day I'll have a consistent posting schedule, but today is not that day. It's fine. So mirror work can be really beautiful because essentially what you're doing is you are like reprogramming the way that your unconscious mind perceives your face and your body in the mirror as a part of your identity. You can scroll back and find that video if you want to know more on that, and we go super in depth on it inside of Homecoming. And mirror work is probably one of my favorite things to do. It has been totally life-changing in the way that I greet myself on a daily basis, because now when I see myself in a mirror, I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, hey, sup? Hi, you. Like, oh my god, hi, it's me. And that is not how I used to be. I used to look in the mirror very critically because, of course, that's how we're taught to use a mirror, is to look at ourselves and judge how we look. And that does not have to be how your relationship is with your own beautiful reflection and therefore your own perception of who you are bodily, which is exciting. So go find that live or join Homecoming to get the full in-depth skinny on mirror work. Another beautiful thing that you can do to help bring about change in how you interact with your body and your thoughts and in your behavior is through doing beautiful meditations on yourself. And so what I mean by that is perhaps similar to traditional meditation where you sit and you're quiet and you are trying to weed out extraneous thoughts, but also it asks that you focus on yourself. So when I started doing this, I would imagine me as I am right now with like my highest, happiest version of myself. So she was very like ethereal at first, like in a white dress, and we were in a meadow, and like we would just sit and like have a picnic with each other. And this is just a meditation that happens in your mind, you being in relationship with yourself, right? It's a mental metaphor for what you ultimately desire, which is that beautiful relationship with who you are now. Because when you have that beautiful relationship with who you are now, you get to become with so many more other possibilities. Again, more on that later, and that's maybe perhaps a different live for a different day. And so throughout these self-meditations where I was in relationship with myself, like eventually I would like lay my head in my own lap, right? Like in the lap of my higher self. And it was just like really nice. And she would like caress my face. And it was really beautiful. And what this can translate into these self-meditations is an actual physical, like kinesthetic practice of if in your mind during your meditation, your higher self does something to you, like you can replicate that on your own body. Like even just the most gentle caress of yourself can feel so self-loving, right? When we talk about self-pleasure, we often jump like straight into orgasming, right? And I mean, that's awesome, right? Orgasms are great. And also sometimes the way that we like currently orgasm is like imagining another person there with us, right? Like fantasizing about another human being, like Hugh Jackman or your lover, right? Like your partner. And it's okay. I just outed myself for loving Hugh Jackman. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. So You can also be in a pleasurable relationship with yourself. And that can start very gently as like just a caress, like once a day, right? Like even just touching the largest organ on your body, your skin, can feel pleasurable and self-loving. And that can often be where a self-loving relationship starts from with your body, is just being in relationship with your largest organ. It just feels nice. It doesn't have to be like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I pulled out my vibrator and we went to town, right? Like, that can be so pleasurable and lovely, and also that can put a lot of pressure on the situation, right? Like, when you start engaging with your body from the perspective of treating it like you would treat your lover, treating it like you would treat your absolute best friend on the face of the planet, treating it like you would your absolute favorite relationship. It doesn't have to be this like big monumental pressury thing. It can be as simple as like touching yourself in a gentle caress, or looking at yourself in the mirror and saying an affirmation. And affirmations and mantras are the next thing that I wanted to talk about, because saying things like, I love my face, I love my body, I love my eyebrows, I love my belly, I love the way that my stomach holds food that nourishes me, right? Like, perhaps targeting those areas that you traditionally would like bag on or like dog on. When you start phrasing these affirmations, like, you can change the way that your unconscious mind holds thought patterns. And that comes through a lot of repetition, right? Like, affirmations and mantras don't work if you say them to yourselves one time a day. It definitely needs to come from a place of extreme repetition. So like 5 times a day, saying them 10 times to yourself would be a good place to start in order to get that repetition and holding that practice for a month or two. That is how the unconscious mind wants to be spoken to and rewired, through repetition, in loving yourself more deeply. And so when you combine all of these things, like mirror work, like self-meditations, like simple self-pleasure or intense self-pleasure, you do you on whatever level you feel is good for you, right? When you start to combine that with mantras and affirmations, those are the things that begin to lovingly change your relationship with your body, and therefore with yourself. Right? Because your body is a third of who you are. Your body is what makes this human existence possible for you right now. So when you can change your relationship with her, with your body, you get to change your relationship with your whole self. And even just the simple practice of gratitude, like, I'm grateful for my heart that pumps blood through my body. I'm grateful for my stomach that digests the food that I eat. I'm grateful for my colon that processes the food that I eat, right? Like, even just gratitude for simple bodily processes that we typically take for granted can help to rearrange and relay the foundation for how we perceive our own sweet, beautiful self and our own sweet, beautiful bodies. And then the last thing that I wanted to bring in is the act of asking yourself powerful questions. And I just love powerful questions so much. They're like one of my freaking favorite coaching techniques ever. Asking what or how questions to yourself. And one that can repeatedly call your attention. Sorry, my dog is playing. Repeatedly calling attention back to a loving relationship with yourself. Oh, I think I paused for a second. Hopefully I'm back. Is consistently asking, like, what would my body friend, even just calling your body friend instead, like it's a compound word. What would my body friend think about this thought that I'm thinking, about this action that I'm taking, about this walk that I'm choosing to not go on, about this food that I'm choosing to nourish me, right? Just asking that simple question of, what would my body friend think about XYZ, can begin to radically change your relationship with yourself. And throughout this process, you'll notice emotions pop up for you, like sadness or guilt or shame. And these are all natural and normal emotions. Please do not make yourself wrong or make yourself bad for feeling natural feelings during this process of engaging in a more loving relationship with your body, because getting angry at your shame or wishing you didn't feel your shame is otherizing or pitting yourself against your mind and your body, which feels those feelings, right? You inherently cannot love your body thoroughly and completely while also hating the emotions that she feels. That is so important, and we dive really deeply into it inside of Homecoming because that is so important. It is the crux of self-love, choosing to not engage in self-hate and choosing to understand where those thoughts and feelings and emotions come from are the basis for self-love, and that's why I freaking love talking about it so much. So if you want a deep dive on all of this, I would love to invite you inside of the Brave Heart Open Mind Homecoming devotion, because it is a devotion to coming home to yourself. It is a devotion to taking things like this that I talk about in my public lives and really committing, devoting yourself into practicing these routines and rituals and practices for yourself. And it's really beautiful and juicy and delicious. So I would freaking love to see you inside. So give yourself a quick heart check or gut check on whether or not that feels good for you. I'll put a link to read more about it in the comments that you can tap on and marinate on for yourself as to whether or not that is the exact perfect thing that you've been waiting for. I think in most cases it is. It's a pretty bomb program. I'm really excited to be continuously birthing it into existence in this world and to be continuously helping people like you listening or watching right now or on the replay begin to be or continue to be in deeper and deeper and deeper relationship with yourself, because that is powerful. That is where change happens for your entire life, is from being in a more self-loving relationship with yourself. It's magical. It's marvelous. It's utterly deliciously delightful. So I invite you to check it out. Clicking the link doesn't cost you anything or commit you to anything. It's just tapping on the link to read more about it. So I would love for you to find out more. I would love for you to try out some of those practices, like mirror work, like self-meditation, like gentle or intense self-pleasure, like using mantras and affirmations and powerful questions for being in deeper, more loving relationship with yourself, because you deserve it. You so deserve it. You were not put on this beautiful planet Earth to be at war with yourself. You were put here to enjoy, to thrive, to expand into all of your juicy possibilities. So I invite you to tap on the link. I invite you to practice some of the things that we talked about today. And most importantly, from my heart to yours, well, maybe not most importantly. Most importantly would be from your heart to yours, sending love. So maybe sub-importantly, from my heart to yours, I'm sending you so much love, and I hope that you have an absolutely amazing day.